Do me a favor and think of someone in your head. They could be a friend or a family member with severe health issues. List off all the medications they take, doctors they see, and tests they get done to try to stay healthy. Now imagine if they weren't able to do this because they couldn't afford it. Picture them going to the pharmacy to pick up their insulin and realizing that they can't afford to take it home. Unfortunately, this is something that happens to countless Americans because they don't have the money to pay for health insurance. Is this the truth? Yes. While it is sad, it is the truth. I work at a pharmacy and I see day in and day out people reject the medications they need due to the cost. Last shift I worked, 2 different people asked me to hold medications for them until they got their next paycheck. To me, this is extremely sad. People don't realize the cost of prescriptions without insurance. And the reason being, many employers don't provide their full-time employees with health insurance. According to an article on Healthline, businesses even cut their employee hours to avoid having to pay health insurance. And while HSA, FSA, and flex spending can help, they can only do so much. Like a broken record, I say, I'm sorry, it looks like your prescriptions cost a little bit high. Hopefully next time it will be cheaper. But you never know because the cost of prescription drugs are so unpredictable. It's really sad and hard to see so many people struggle to get the things that they need to stay healthy. Is this fair? Absolutely not. And if my prescription story is not enough, my mom is a family physician. As a family doctor, she often recommends that her patients see specialists or get lab work done. However, she's told me that a lot of times they'll push off doing this because of the cost, which is completely understandable. Most times you only have to see your family physician once, maybe twice a year, and they'll even hold off rescheduling visits with her. It's really sad that a lot of people don't have health insurance even though they're working really hard. According to NBC News, 1 in 3 Americans has to worry about paying for their prescriptions, their doctor's appointments, tests, etc. That's 33%, and that's much too high of a percentage for me. And according to Harvard, there's 3 main reasons why: corporate greed, administrative costs, and new technologies. Will this build better goodwill and friendships? Since we're talking in a professional sense, I don't feel comfortable talking about friendships, since between employer and employee at every job is a little bit different. However, I do believe that goodwill can be built. One of my coworkers has been working at the pharmacy I work at for 7 years, and she's extremely loyal to us. We're basically a family to her. However, the pharmacy I work at does not provide their full-time employees with health insurance. She has to pay out of pocket for doctor's appointments, something like a COVID test or a flu test, which is common at this time of year, or vaccinations or prescriptions. This is extremely hard, and every now and then she'll consider leaving us for another job that has health benefits. Her loyalty to the pharmacy is always shocking to me, for she still stays with us. I don't know if I'd have that courage or that bravery. I don't know if I'd put pay or prescription plans ahead of each other. It's something that you really have to consider. I think a better work environment can be built if employers provide their employees with health insurance, and I honestly believe that employees will look at their employers with better light if they do. The last question is the one I have the most passionate answer about. Is this beneficial to all concerned? You might say it's obviously going to benefit the employee, but overall it's going to hurt the employer. However, I see from a point of view where both are benefited. I don't think I need to tell you why the employee is going to be benefited from getting health insurance, but there are ways the employer can gain. Let's say the employee has to pick up a maintenance inhaler, something like Advair or Breo that are a little more expensive. They say, my asthma hasn't been that bad in a while, I'm going to hold off on getting it for a little. Maybe if things get bad, I'll come and get it, but for now I'm going to leave it here. A couple days later, they have really bad asthma and they have to stay home from work the next day. Now the employer has to worry about giving their employee enough sick time that they're going to be able to take the days they need. As we know, it's flu season, and medications like Tamiflu can be really expensive even with insurance. Imagine the cost out of pocket. This might make people not want to take Tamiflu, and that extends how long they're going to be sick, leading for employers to have to find coverage and pay for a lot of sick time. We can talk about a more serious example as well. At the beginning of my speech, I mentioned insulin, and many people don't know how expensive insulin really is. Doesn't matter if you have great insurance or no insurance at all, but it is a pretty penny. They say, I'm going to see my doctor soon. I'm going to hold off, plans might change. But later that night, their sugar levels skyrocket and they end up being hospitalized. That's quite a serious consequence to not having health insurance. I hope that by the time I'm a full-time employee, I'll be provided with health insurance. That way, there's not a girl looking back at me saying, I'm sorry, it looks like your prescriptions are going to be a little high. Hopefully next time it will be more affordable. Thank you.